In this video, I want to bring awareness to what is going on in the Congo when it comes to persecution of Christians. 70 Christians were beheaded.
70 Christians have been found beheaded. Yes, beheaded in a church in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why is no one reporting this? Why does no one seem to care? Well, let me bring in Dexter Van Zyl, an expert on anti-Christian violence. Dexter, what can you tell us about this absolutely barbaric atrocity?
Okay, well, first of all, it took place in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is a huge country with about 105 million people, that right now is basically in a conflict with neighboring Rwanda over territory in Kivu, okay? And the violence was perpetrated by an organization that was that is affiliated with ISIS. And the thing is that there are some people who have argued that they are essentially working on behalf of Rwanda, because Rwanda is a neighboring country that covets and is actually taking control of an awful lot of the mineral resources in Kivu.
Some of you may be wondering why a Christian country like Rwanda would want to do that to another Christian country, the Congo. What I'm going to do is kind of go back and show you history between Rwanda and the Congo to give you a better understanding of what's really going on.
Rwandan-backed rebels M23 claim they have captured Goma, which is the largest city in eastern Congo. Congo's government said the rebel advance was a declaration of war, and the United Nations has described mass panic amongst Goma's 2 million residents. The rebels' offensive threatens to dramatically worsen what is already one of Africa's longest wars and further displace civilians. But where did this all start? This conflict goes back to the Hutu and Tutsi, who are two very similar ethnic groups living in neighboring Rwanda. The groups had fought several times since the fall of the Tutsi monarchy in 1959, and this culminated in 1994, when 800,000 members of the Tutsi minority community were killed by ethnic Hutu extremists in what was later recognized around the world as a genocide. 2 million people were displaced as a result, with over 1 million people from both sides ending up in the Congo. Now, over the next decade, Rwanda fought multiple wars with Congo, targeting Hutu militant groups and even backed Tutsi rebels who destabilized the Congolese government. By the end of March 2009, the Congolese government promised those Tutsi rebels integration within the military and civilian institutions, in return for them re-entering the country's democracy as a political party. Which brings us to the rebel group M23. Now, M23 was formed in 2012, named after that 2009 peace accord signed on the 23rd of March. The group accused the government of Congo of failing to implement that peace deal. They vowed to defend Tutsi interests, particularly against ethnic Hutu militias. M23 have waged rebellions since its formation. They took Goma once before in 2012. After a decade of inactivity, the group resurfaced in late 2021, with M23 taking more and more territory in northern Kivu. Now, according to United Nations experts, the group has received increasing support from the Rwandan government. Rwanda has denied such support. Yesterday, the president of Kenya, head of the East African Community of Nations, expressed dismay and concern.
We do not see, from where I sit, a possibility of a military solution to the challenges that faced Eastern DRC.
The UN has warned over a third of the population in Goma's province are displaced, which will only be exacerbated by the capture of the city, with hundreds fleeing. Jackson and his family fled Goma during fighting in 2012, but this time they've chosen to stay.
Sitting here, I can hear the sound of bombs, the crackle of falling bullets. We decided to stay at home because as long as there are wars, those who flee the war can also die or live a bad life. That's why we thought it was better to stay at home than to die fleeing a war. If we're going to die, it's better to die here.
But this isn't just another humanitarian crisis in a troubled corner of Africa, because this matters to all of us. And why? Because Eastern Congo has some of the richest reserves of critical minerals in the world. Almost every smartphone, smart fridge, electrical vehicle, solar panel, and wind turbine would not work without the cobalt, tantalum, copper, and rare earth elements mined in eastern Congo.
Hopefully with that video, it kind of gave you a better understanding of what's going on between Rwanda and the Congo. Congo is a country that has been devastated for their resources ever since King Leopold came over and decided to colonize the Congo. They have never been left alone in order to get back on their feet. Some people wonder why the continent of Africa, a lot of countries, is not where they should be. It's because either their leaders are not using the money that they have to do the right things towards their people, or other sources from the outside is coming in, keeping them stable so they can go ahead and steal their resources for their own gain. And that is what's happening with the Congo. So even if they have to kill Christians to get what they want, they're going to do that. You know, they beheaded men, women, and children, and that's sad. So what we can do as Christians is pray for our Christians, brothers and sisters in the Congo, even in the Sahel region, that area of Africa that is going through persecution of Christians. And also pray that God do his will in that country. Pray that God bring peace to the land, and like I said, do his will, because God will always be above what man will is. So that's all we can do at this point, is just pray for our Christian brothers and sisters. My name is Delmarshae, and thank you for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up and share it.